30 feet. I can tell now, looking at it visually, we need to hit it harder. What's going on, guys? Flux Performance, and we are back at the racetrack. We're here in XRP, Paris, Texas, and we're here for Big Jake's dusk till dawn. We're gonna be testing today, we're gonna be racing tomorrow, Friday, and we're gonna be racing Saturday, and hoping to take that big chunks of cash back home. We got my buddy's car here, the Camaro. We're gonna go ahead and do some shakedowns with it today, and basically start off where we left off last time when we were here. We went super fast. We're gonna go ahead and try to speed it up. I know it's hot, the track's gonna be super hot, super greasy, and we're gonna make the best out of it, and we're gonna go ahead and try to see if we can break this car's personal record back again as we did last time. So y'all stay tuned, it's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be real hot, but it should be pretty good. It's gonna be a lot of cars, a lot of fast cars, and yeah, we're out here having a good time. So like for me, I'm gonna be working. For you guys are gonna be sitting down and enjoying this video. So stay tuned, don't change the channel, and let us know what you think about the badass car. We're gonna get the car over to the lanes. We're gonna go ahead and try our first shakedown today, Thursday. Some cars already started to go down. Not everybody went down. The track is still hot, the surface, but we've got a pretty toned down tune-up on it that we should be able to just kind of put down the racetrack fast enough, and then we'll start moving it from there and applying more power back to it, and we'll see how it goes. So, come on. So that was a pretty good shakedown. Obviously, you know, it didn't have the power that it normally has, so I always kind of turn them down a little bit just to kind of make the first shakedown, and then from there we gather up the data and then we start putting the power back into it. But you know, that's still a really good solid hit that he did there. Gives us a great starting point. Instead of spinning our wheels and then trying to go backwards, well, now we can move forward. So all in all, it was pretty damn good right there. I'm sure I felt pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Nice and smooth.
Very smooth.
It tickled the traction, which is fine, but you know, that gives us a good solid A to B, and then we can work it off there.
To make sure I went all the way past 400 feet.
So we're gonna go ahead and go for our second shakedown, sped it up some more now that we got a good baseline. Obviously there was a little fire or something earlier, middle of the racetrack, so they were cleaning up the back end of the track. They're gonna drag it and spray it, and then we'll be ready to go. Probably gonna put some numbers back into it so we can go ahead and get it for the first 20 or so feet. Get it out of the hole pretty hard.
They came out of that thing.
20, 30 feet. I can tell now, looking at it visually, we need to hit it harder.
Yeah, we need it hard. Coming out with it.
Yes. 20, 30 feet, we need to put some power to it. Big rope.
Go.
We're gonna make a third shakedown. Everything seems to be okay. It's looking good, but it seems to be either tranny seems to be probably slipping because I can see the charge pressure on the converter being real low in high gear. Normally it should be maybe 80 psi of charge pressure, and we're actually seeing only about 20 psi of charge pressure in high gear, which that'll cause it to have slippage and of course not accelerate as fast. So we made some changes on the program, which is the dumps and a couple other things on it, but the log shows that during the pass it shows enough line pressure on the transmission, but it shows that it's real hot. It's leaving the line around 230 to 240 degrees, and at the end of the racetrack it's almost at 300 degrees. So I just think that the oil is getting probably way too thin. We're gonna go ahead and try it again. We're gonna make a 330 foot hit. I did add quite a bit of timing down low, which is a big change. So if it doesn't spin, it's either gonna go really fast or it's either just gonna rev up and, you know, have more slippage. So we'll see what it does in this pass, and we'll determine in case we do have a spare transmission. So hopefully we're not changing the transmission tomorrow, but we may be changing the transmission tomorrow. So we'll see. So we'll see how this goes tonight. That's why it's not bumping. That's why it didn't bump earlier. I guess we're gonna have to swap the transmission.
Boo-hoo.
It definitely seems like the transmission is hurt. It clearly bumped the limiter on high gear. I mean, it wasn't.
No, I know.
It wasn't fast, but it was fast, but not crazy fast.
But it was.
It's also not going into high gear.
The bandito! Look at the chopper.
It didn't have enough to keep it bumping in, and then in high gear it like it hit the limiter. That time it did.
It hit the limiter.
Yeah. Definitely it's slipping. I said, well, definitely that tranny has to come out tomorrow. Yeah, we got to pull a tranny out. It's got no RPM drop whatsoever, and it just ran. You can see right here, left, no shift, no nothing. It just stayed there. 8,500. It was on the limiter. Commanded the second gear shift, but it never really saw a second gear shift. Right here. Shift out. Never really saw it. It just ran it through. So transmission is definitely gone. We're gonna have to pull it tomorrow. We'll look at some plugs and stuff like that. Everything on the engine tune-up seems to be happy. We got 12 hours to get it done before actually we start running tomorrow. So we'll be able to get the transmission done in time and everything back up to how it should be, back to normal. So, stay tuned. Check it out. See how we do tomorrow.
Here we are. But it's got some time.
He had to go back and take a nap because he swapped the transmission for us. So they went ahead and changed the transmission. They put the spare back on and fired it up, checked fluid, topped it off and everything. We changed the fluid to a different type. So it seems to be all well. So today we're hoping to go real fast. That's the plan. We're hoping to get back to numbers of where we were and actually, pick up some mile per hour and actually some better ET. So we'll see how that goes today. And good thing we came and tested yesterday. We found that issue. All right, guys, day number 2. We're back in the lanes, and after a hot day and a lot of work, well, actually, I'm just kidding. We didn't work. The guys did work. So the transmission yesterday was acting up, and it was just basically going and hitting the red limiter and not working well. So they did swap the transmission today, this morning. Everything seems to be fine. We spooled it. Converter pressure seems to be normal. So we're back here in the lanes finally after a really, really hot day of doing nothing. just kicking back. We're gonna go ahead and try it. We left the same tune-up from yesterday. If it sticks, it's gonna be a real fast pass. If it spins, it's because we've put too much in it. But I loaded that tune-up yesterday because the car was not performing well, and it actually did leave, but it had a lot of slippage on the transmission. Now with the transmission being fixed, we're just gonna go ahead and leave the same tune-up. See if we hit a home run on it. If not, we'll go back to the previous tune-up that we have for it, and then we'll start creeping back again slowly to make it faster. But today, there is no class that we are going to be racing up until tomorrow. So we're going to focus on getting the car right all tonight and making shakedowns and basically getting the car faster. And then see if we can have a contender for tomorrow. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and see what this car can do and see if we make a fast rip. Right. Keep it coming. Left. Left. There we go. Straight back, bump left, bump left, keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming, straight back, and good. When you go in, you're gonna bump right a little bit. There you go, that's good. Hey, it's got pressure now on the transmission though, because it bumped in real hard. So obviously we got enough pressure now on the transmission. Of course, it knocked the tire off, so now it's actually trying to put a bunch of power down. It bumped really far in because I had added some numbers yesterday because it really wasn't bumping. But now with enough pressure on the tranny, it actually over bumped, and of course it spun the tire. So we're gonna go back to our known tune-up, cool it down, and then go back up there and then try it again now that we know that the transmission is actually working properly. So we're gonna look at the data and see what it shows us at the start line and then go from there. We got it cooled down, so we're gonna go back in the lanes. Really didn't get all that hot. I mean, it knocked the tire off anyway, so we cooled it down a little bit. We're ready. Put a tune-up in it, so we're gonna go and try it again, see how the outcome is. I think it should be okay now. All right, let's try it again. We have spun both times. We're gonna try to dumb it down quite a bit just to get down. So it's given us a little bit of a fight this time. It may have been, not sure, maybe the transmission, the very last pass that we did was maybe slipping a little bit. So we're just gonna go ahead and try to get everything in order and line up and try to adapt with what we just changed. So made a couple of changes on the tune-up, a couple of changes on the chassis. So we'll see how that goes. Try it again. That was a big change from what we had. Significant RPM difference and stuff like that. So I think there was maybe a little bit of a slippage issue back then when it did the previous pass. So, which was back in March. Everything in the transmission is exactly the same.
That's what I wanted as a good pass. So now we got a solid baseline.
Correct. So from what we had before in it, that it went down back in March, I mean, it's significantly slower, basically, but less, you know.
We'll see what the time slip says.
Yeah.
May not be slower.
May not be. It looked good. I can't judge. But it seemed good off the line and everything, so we'll go from there. stuff here needs to be replaced. So obviously we've been having a little bit of trouble with the car. First off, we had issues with the transmission and it kept on slipping and slipping. So we finally found what was wrong with it. We replaced it with the spare tranny, and then of course now we have some power back in it. We started to make progress back again, and then it would sporadically just kind of let loose. And then on the last run, actually everything was good, and then it let loose about 150 feet out. So come to find out, it bent the axle. Obviously it also did some damage to the race. So it's gonna need a new race on this, new bolt, and a couple little things. As far as the spool, everything's fine. All this needs to be cleaned up. All the bearings need to be replaced. Definitely the axle needs to be replaced. Unfortunately, our race weekend is over.